Hello, my name is Morgan Shelton, and today I will be talking to you about my speech book, Oral Communication. Today I'll be going through each of the chapters and what my favorite parts of each of those chapters was. So to start, we'll begin with chapter 1, the channel. A channel is a medium a message goes through. Each channel targets a different sensory receptor, so it must be chosen appropriately. Technology has increased the number, reach, and speed of channels. Some examples of channels are phones, computers, newspapers, TVs, books, and radios. Next is chapter 2, which is perception checking. Perception checking is used to double check your understanding of what's going on with another person. This consists of 3 parts. Give an objective description of what you sensed, give an interpretation of what the situation meant to you, and ask a question. You only use perception checking if you think your interpretation of a situation with a person went wrong. Next we have chapter 3, which is the influence of language. Using different words can influence how a sentence can be perceived. Using "I cheated on my diet" versus "I made a poor eating choice" is an example that the textbook gives. Saying "I cheated" has moral connotations that makes you seem bad, while saying "I made a poor eating choice" makes you seem that you can move forward and grow through this choice. Next we have chapter 4, which is the types of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication can help to further your understanding of a message. Here are some examples of nonverbal communication. First we have body language, then time, smell, touch, artifacts, space, and paralanguage. And paralanguage is the vocal techniques used to give a word meaning. Next is chapter 5, which is the Johari window. The Johari window was developed by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingram in the 1950s. It was used to analyze yourself and what you know about others. The Johari window can help us understand how open and closed we are to others. So here's how it works. You have 4 boxes. The first box, what is known to you and what is known to others, is what's open. The next is what is unknown to you but is known to others, which is what you're blind about. Then we have what is known to you but unknown to others, which is what you keep hidden. And then what is not known to you, nor is it what's not known to you and what's not known to others, which is what is completely unknown. This is how willing you are to get feedback, starting with very willing all the way to not willing at all. Then we have your self-discussion, which is open to very closed. Next is chapter 6, which are the stages of a relationship. First, we have the contact stage, which is when you meet someone for the first time. Then we have involvement, which is continuing to get to know a person. Next is intimacy, when you commit to a person either through a relationship or through friendship. And after that, we have deterioration, which is the stage that most people don't want to get to. This is when a relationship feels more one-sided. One person is putting more effort in than the other. After that, we have either repair or dissolution. When you repair the situation, that means both people come together and you regain that friendship or relationship commitment. Or you have dissolution completely, which is both people move forward without continuing the relationship. Next up, chapter 7, which are the steps to design a speech. There are 7 steps to design a speech, and we'll start with the selection of a general purpose. After that, you'll move into picking your topic. It is important to pick a topic that people will understand. So that's why after that, you're going to narrow your topics down. You have to narrow your topic down to a good topic that'll fit your general purpose. After that, we find key organizational features. You are using your key organizational features on how you want to organize your speech so that it gets your message across appropriately. After that, we are writing a specific goal statement. What is your goal for this speech? What do you want people to understand? After that, you write your goal into your thesis statement. What is it exactly that you are trying to tell people? And then finally, you're analyzing your audience. You're trying to put all this information together so that it fits the right way to reach your audience. After chapter 7, we have chapter 8, with the different places to research. First up, we have the internet, next the library, and then an interview. All of these are really great places to get information, but you have to watch out because there are a lot of things that could go wrong in these places. To avoid this, when you're going on the internet, make sure that you use sources that are credible. Places like Wikipedia are places that anybody can edit, so the sources might not always be completely credible. Next, we have the library. In the library, you want to make sure that your sources are up to date. If they're not up to date, then you're not going to get current information. This will be good for a project that's based off of history or a speech based off of an event in the past. But if you're going to give a speech on current events, you have to make sure you use information that is completely up to date. And finally, we have interviews. A tip to go into an interview is to make sure you have all of your questions already written down so that when you go into the interview, you already know what you want to ask the person that you're interviewing. Next up, chapter 9. Chapter 9 are the different types of visual aids. Visual aids are used to clarify a concept or enhance the meaning to the audience members. Some examples of visual aids are PowerPoints, DVDs, objects, and streaming of video. Next up, we have chapter 10, which is perceived choice. Perceived choice is a feeling or sense of choice with respect to another's beliefs. It is said to be the difference between persuasion and coercion. Persuasion being when you have options but you're choosing what you want, and then coercion is when you have no choice about a certain choice, when you have no choice in a certain situation given by a person. Chapter 11 is credibility or ethos. It is important to build your credibility when you're giving a speech because credibility is the reason why people should listen to you. This can be done through through in-text citations, bibliographies, or it can be stated in your introduction. Most of the time, a good speech will have all three. Next up, chapter 12, which is the resume. A resume is a detailed description of a list of skills and of your working history. It is given to possible future employers so that they can review your qualifications for the job. And finally, chapter 13, which are the steps to build, chapter 13 are the styles of leadership. There are 7 styles of leadership, and I'm going to take you through each one of them. The first step is authoritarian, telling people what to do. They tell people what to do and they don't ask a lot of questions. They expect to be followed. Number 2 is the laissez-faire. They are hands-off and they let the group do as they please. They're not very involved in decision making. Number 3 is the democratic leader. They are able to synthesize ideas, attend to needs, and keep the group's discussions going. They are very good leaders. Number 4, we have the transactional leader. They exchange rewards for desired outcomes. Number 5, we have the transformational leader, who is empowering and inspires people to be better. Number 6, Number 6, we have the servant. They are a leader who feels the need to serve the people that they lead. And finally, number 7, we have the facilitative leader. This leader gathers information from the team and creates shared knowledge that everyone can use. All right, so to review, we talked about 13 chapters in the book. Each chapter is very important to me, and I enjoyed learning about this information when I read through it. We talked about chapter 1, which are the channels, chapter 2, which is perception checking, chapter 3, which is the influence of language, chapter 4, which included nonverbal communication, chapter 5, the Johari window, chapter 6, the stages of a relationship, Chapter 7, the steps to design a speech. Chapter 8, the different places you can research. Chapter 9, visual aids. And Chapter 10, perceived choice. After that was credibility or ethos in Chapter 11, Chapter 12, resumes, and Chapter 13, the styles of leadership. Thank you for listening. Bye.